We're bypassing the intro today because today we're celebrating one of the best basketball cultures, not just in Chicagoland, but in the world. That would be the Proviso East Pirates. Listen to this hit list of alumni. Doc Rivers, Dee Brown, Shannon Brown, Michael Finley, Jim Brewer, Stephen Hunter, Reggie Jordan, Sterling Brown, Paris Lee, Javon Carter, Jacob Pullen, not to mention all of the guys who played high-level D1 ball like Brian Carwell, Perry Smith, on and on. Today, we welcome in two of the realest Pirates, people who literally bleed blue, Donnie Boyce and Sherell Ford.
I come down one hand dunk, and broke the backboard.
A simple one-hand dunk. And what was so funny about it,
It was crazy.
what was so funny about that story, all year we have been trying to break the backboard. Purpose. We was tearing the rim up. We swinging on the rim. We putting our feet on the backboard. We windmilling and we trying to break the rim.
Two hands.
Oh, you been dunking since the shot clock, man. You okay?
No. You know what? I've actually been caught up in a lot of different stuff. So, but I'm back. I mean, when they told me who they had tonight, I knew I beat these guys, so I said I can come
By the West, yeah.
All right, we're just going to dive in with that because that's a perfect introduction. We got the juices flowing. Very, very excited for this. This is episode 15 of 13 Rings. And today is a first because not only do we have teammates coming on, but they're in the same room. This is amazing. Sherell, I thought he was wearing an official Proviso East jersey, but I'm told that it's not his actual jersey. But he looks like he's ready to go in a game.
Most definitely. All the
Sherell
time.
Ford and Donnie Boyce here. This is the Proviso East episode. Has an argument to be the richest group of alumni in terms of basketball talent in the country. I mean, it's in that conversation, and so this is a long overdue episode. And our coaches here have a much longer history with these two guys than I do. So who wants to give the introduction this week? Rob, Nick, Ty?
Rob always do it.
I go. First and foremost, thank you guys for joining us. That's the most important thing. This is big to us. When we started it, like when people do anything, they think that look who on there doing it and it ain't gonna last and those type of things, and they don't get along. So of course we want to make sure that we continue this thing and make sure it's good. But we definitely had to get you guys on. When I called you, Donnie, and let you know we've been all over the place with people, and then we was trying to figure out who was next. And there was no better place than go to Proviso East and get you guys on there from, the history that y'all got and just you two guys playing, in high school, in college, and professional. It's good for our viewers, people that's watching, because it's going to be a lot of people watching, kids who trying to get recruited and all those things. So, like I said, you just be honest and how you feel about things, and we're going to roll with it. But just first of all, thank you guys. It's 7 o'clock. I know we're doing a whole lot of stuff, but thank you guys.
We appreciate you having us on this. We appreciate you guys having us on.
So Nick, you said you grew up watching these guys. What's your impression from when you were a little kid watching these guys? Or not little kid, but...
Well, before I get to them, Proviso East is it's always in my heart. My mom graduated from there. Family members went there. So the Gillespies, the Montgomerys. So Proviso East is always in my heart, and I'm always rooting for Proviso East because of the dynamics of the family atmosphere that came from my family. But watching Donnie and Sherell growing up, man, it was always a treat to watch because they played the game with passion, and they had a three-headed monster with Mike Finley along with these guys, and it's unheard of for three talented players like that go on to play in the NBA, also play on one team together. That they never complained about. They love playing with each other. They still hang to today. You can see how tight they are. They with each other right now. So, it's just a treat to watch, and both of them was really good. They played multiple positions, just like they playing in the NBA. They going to small ball and all that. They could play in that era. They played in the other era. So, it was just a treat to watch.
Hey, didn't I tell y'all about his vocabulary?
He's definitely working on it. He definitely is definitely improved.
Man, his PR person is the best in the world, baby.
Gonna have to hook us up. We need some help in that department.
That's amazing. And Ty, you've got a history too. You and Donnie are now obviously coaching against each other, but you were nice to him when he got the job. Is that true?
Well, you know what? Anytime you get a new coach, you want to be nice to him. You always want to do that. It gives you an advantage when you play them. And but we had to be nice to him. But, you know, I'll tell you, the history of these guys, and again, they had a three-headed monster, you know, and there's one that's missing. It'd be great if he would have been on here also. That would have been just 13 rings. And I think he added some rings too. So we'd have to calculate his rings in too so we can get to the appropriate rings. But you know what, I think.
But actually, we didn't count their rings in.
I was trying to do that by purpose. I didn't want to put theirs in. I don't want to overshadow. I'm trying to keep that tab down. But you know what, really, I tell you, the thing that I'm most appreciative of Donnie, I tell you, he's a man that has played at a very high level. And like I said, when I met him, he was new in the game, but he was interested in winning and he was interested in doing it the right way. And then when we started to play and we started to kind of get together, next thing I know, I saw Sherell, and I'm like, what is going on here? And all I could think of, I'm just hopeful that Sherell is not playing. Hopefully that's not a player. Hopefully that's not a player. But I think really the bigger thing is that when you have guys that have played at the level and have achieved the things that they've done as players, then for them to come back and to deposit all of that information, all that knowledge, all of that basketball savvy back to these young people, I think that's bigger than anything they may have done as players, you know. And mind you, what they did as players is, whew, and we're going to talk about that today. I mean, you talk about teams that were just loaded with, from 1 to probably 10. And then when you think about players at that level, then these guys come back and now they want to coach this game and they want to deal with young boys and primarily young African-American boys that probably heard about them, may not have actually seen them play in person, but people probably still, they still come to the games and expect them to be the guys playing. Why? Because they look like they can still play and they all remember how they used to play. And I tell you, the best thing is that when I play them, neither of them can play. So I'm just happy to be on here with these guys today. And you know what? It's amazing. I wonder if they decided to dress in their team colors. I
know, isn't that
that's what they do.
Like the best guess? They were on time. They're together and they're wearing official colors. Like they're already ahead of a lot of our guests right there.
Oh yeah, no, they're ahead of a lot of the people that are part of this program, Tyrone. So I mean, we're talking about our guests.
Well, you know, the thing is, we got a saying out here. You know, we bleed blue. So you know, if you cut us, it's not gonna be red. We bleed blue. So I'm in blue most of the time anyway. I mean, that's just a nice color. I think, you know, brings out my complexion. You know,
my favorite color anyway.
I love it.
My favorite color is blue.
There we go.
I wear it all day, every day.
So guys, you know, we've talked about this. Everybody knows the Proviso East brand. You actually lived it. I just want to know what it was like to be on that team. Did you realize how special and historically rare that was to have the group of talent that you had? And what was it, 92? Was that the best team you had?
Well, you know, actually, our junior year, we had a better team.
Really?
The chemistry wasn't right. You know, just in terms of the talent. Like I said earlier, we had maybe off that 91 team, we had like 7, 8 guys that went to Division I. You know, the practice is the thing I remember about our practice that kind of let us know we're gonna be separated us from some other teams. We very rarely practice the first 5 versus the second 5. You know, we mixed the practices up. And I remember asking our coach Hitt at that time, like, man, you messing up the chemistry. Like, you know, we supposed to be gelling right now. Why are we playing against each other? You know, and he said this to me, and I remember it like it was yesterday. That cream always rise to the top, and I want our practice to be the most competitive. So why would I allow y'all 5 to dominate? You know, really said us 3 dominate the practice, and nobody really else, you know, on the team is getting better or even gaining any confidence. And so from those mixing up our practices, you know, that definitely helped our chemistry because it was very competitive. I mean, you know how it is, Nick and Rob. I ain't gonna say Ty. You know, Ty was a instrumental, intramural basketball player, but you know, for the former players, you know,
I'm in that category too. I'm in that.
Here we go with another guest that's taking shots at me. I can't do this. I can't do this.
But no, you know, like I said, the competition in those practices would really kind of let us know, man, this could be something special. We just kind of stay focused.
What was the most heated moment you can remember in a practice?
Oh, man. When I broke the backboard.
You broke the backboard. Okay, we need the story right now.
It was in a practice. It was just, we just going up and down, just a simple practice. So I come down, one hand dunk, and broke the backboard.
A simple one-hand dunk. And what was so funny about it,
It was crazy.
what was so funny about that story, all year we have been trying to break the backboard. Purpose. You know, we was tearing the rim up. You know, we swinging on the rim. We putting our feet on the backboard. You know, we windmilling and we trying to break the rim.
Two hands all day, one hand, then now.
Sherell went up. I mean, it was and what was so frustrating and so funny at the same time, you know, because we had like a little inside bet amongst me, him, Mike, and some of the other guys.
Right.
It wasn't even hard. It wasn't a fast break. It was off a driving kick, and he one dribble and went off like he said, just a simple one hand. And next thing you know, it just said, chee ling 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 ling. You know, we kids, so we all high fiving, you know.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, Coach Head just went into a thing, you know, he scolded us, he got on us, you know, he cursed at us. Y'all been trying to break the rim all year.
All year. I've been trying to do it all year.
And then after he jumped on us, the funniest thing, and him being the coach, all right, let's go down to the other end. So we really thought his practice was over with. Like, we finna go home.
All right, we're gonna go home, man. It's cool.
Go
to the other end.
We had to do half court for the rest of that day. And he tried to get Sherell to pay for it, but thank God we won state. So that bill was taken care of when we won state.
So, guys, can you guess what their combined record was between junior year? So 90-91 was their junior year. 91-92, right, guys? Was your senior?
No, 89,
They went back-to-back state championships.
Yeah.
Guess what their combined record was those 2 years?
I think they probably lost 2 games.
And how many wins?
56?
60.
60.
Nick or
60?
Rob, what do you think?
They lost 2 games, like 62-2.
60, I think.
65-1.
Dang.
5-1. Wow.
Who did you lose to? The Bulls?
Now, you know, like I said, one thing about Chicago basketball, you know, once you get a taste of a little success and you see your name in the paper, that kind of just feeds and motivates you to work on your game and work on your craft. And for us out here being from Maywood, you know, not being from the city, when we go in the city, you know, we got that stereotype that we soft, we don't really know how to play basketball. So and this is where me and Nick history come from. I would go on the clear courts and play.
Yeah.
I would go,
sure.
you know, and dealer side. I would go in the projects and play. You know,
He was going everywhere.
I didn't care where the game was at. I'm there. Don't let it be a money game. I'm really there.
Man, they was going everywhere and play.
But that's what I don't think a lot of people understand nowadays. The younger kids of where you guys come from and how y'all built that whole thing up out there. You know, they looking at it now, and what we talked about a lot on here is people don't know their history.
Yeah.
You know, even when y'all come in the gym, the kids don't even really know who y'all are. You know what I'm saying? And what your mark was on Illinois basketball. they don't even know that. Now, the kids from out that way, they probably do. But when you come into a gym in Chicago, kids don't even, I mean, you just a coach from Proviso East. They don't know the mark that you put, you put on the game or you put on the state, and helped us become who we are as a state for basketball, period. And that's what we have to get back to, is teaching our kids the roots and understanding who people are. You got guys who come in the gym who was all-stars in the league, and kids don't even know that they was all-star. They just looking like, who is this?
Right. You funny you say that, because I remember we was playing at Thornton at Thornwood, somewhere, one of those shootouts out there, and Jamie Brandon was refereeing.
Right.
And I told one of the kids, I said, man, you don't even know who dude is, right? One of my players. They like, who, the ref? I'm like, man, that ain't no ref. I'm like, give my man his respect. I ain't really into all this social media. I don't really mess with the technology, but I told the kids, I do realize they Google everything.
Right.
So, anything come out your mouth as a coach, they gonna fact check it all day long. So I tell one of the kids, and this before we can even get in the locker room, we just walked in the gym. So we walking back now, maybe 5 minutes ago in the locker room. One of the kids come to me and broke it down to me. It was like, I ain't know. Can you introduce me to him? I'm like, man, but they don't have people like we had.
Right.
We had Jim Brewer. You know what I'm saying? We had Doc. For me, Doc was a great mentor because I grew up on the same block as Doc.
That's my cousin, man. Yeah, that's my cousin, Doc Rivers, man.
So, I used to play in his backyard, and then as I got older, guys like Tim Hardaway, Mark McGuire, who else that we played with? Pete Myers, Randy Brown, those guys. I mean, Snake. They definitely kind of fed the information and gave us the coaching and really and truly, I tell my kids all the time when we go play out of state, hey man, you can't stay, even though we not from Chicago, we from Maywood, but they identifying us as a Chicago team.
Yeah.
You don't come with that A game, man. They gonna be like, y'all ain't from Chicago, man. Because there's a certain style, there's a certain respect that come with when you say you're a baller from Chicago. They expect a hard, gritty, tough game.
Right.
They don't, these kids, the other team don't see that. These kids see through everything. So, that's what we try to breed from the city out here. That toughness. Win, lose, or draw, it's gonna be a tough game. We're just not giving it to you.
And when Donnie, he actually brought it up earlier, he worked for me at camp, in Nike camp, and just being alongside him every day, his passion for the game is like, it's like really off the charts, because we go to those camps and these are kids who probably not really basketball players. These are just kids who their parents are just bringing them, some kids got on sandals and, stuff like that. But when you watch him, on the sidelines with those kids and teaching them everything that they need to be done, he not half-stepping it. So that's appreciative as a coach. And for me, I'm running this thing, but just to have him there, it's like, I don't really have to do much, because the kids feed off of his energy, and we got to the point where we first started, not me knowing them, but not really knowing them. We got to the point where I was like, I didn't worry about one gym, because I gave him a gym, like, this your gym. It's going to be, he made sure it was together, so I felt like I was in the gym because he was in there, and just his passion. And you see guys on the sideline, like people see us three on the sideline and they like, look at them. They, they going crazy and they doing that. It's just our passion. And I don't think people get it and understand, people's passion for the game. I think they take that with something different than what it should be.
Rob, I appreciate that, but that was, like I said, part of our culture. That was bred in us. My grammar school coach taught us that, Mr. McCall. See, people don't realize Sherell didn't come up here officially until our sophomore year. But from like 4th, 5th grade, he used to come from Louisiana because that's where he originally from, every summer. Okay. So, we get it rocking in the summertime, and we like, man, you about to come back to school with it. School about to start. Yeah, I'm coming. I'm going to stay up here. And day before school. He gone. You call the phone, the phone disconnected, the lights off.
No.
It got too cold for me. Hey, I'm from Louisiana, so I'm used to the heat. It don't get that cold down there.
So I got a question for Sherell here. I know you're Mr. Quiet. You don't like to toot your own horn. You made a really rare decision, which was to go where you knew there would be superstars. And I see this working with kids today. Kids they will make their own team before they will defer to somebody else, right? Every kid wants to get 30 shots a game today.
Right.
Overgeneralization, but I think there's some truth there. Why were you not intimidated by the prospect of playing with 7 other D1 guys? And what about your mindset made you, be cool with being in the mix as opposed to, being the king of some other team that's not as good?
Like DB said, I came up here when we was younger, and our coach that we had, and the coach that coaching us, Coach McCall, he stirred that in me, like, you ain't got to be the man, you ain't got to do this, just play basketball. And watching Donnie and Mike, when I first came up here, like, hey, I want to be like them. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, watching these guys, then I come up here, then our coach, as Coach McCall, he stirred that into me like, I'm gonna play with these guys. So you got to play your game. They're gonna play their game, and that's how that's how I was gelled in with us three, playing together.
So how did
Gordon, let me interject.
Please.
I mean, he could ball. So, when you're talented, it's easy to pick and choose,
it wasn't no, man, you gonna shoot this time? No, it wasn't none of that.
We was begging him to stay. I mean, we seen his talent obvious. Sherell was the first big man that, that we consider now like a stretch for. Yeah. That had those skills. I had to develop them skills. He had those skills naturally given, great touch. And, the good thing about me and Mike was we grew up together from maybe like 2nd and 3rd grade. So we played all the sports together, baseball together. If he was the pitcher, I was the catcher. He was the quarterback, I'm the receiver. He the guard, I'm the center. That's how we rolled. And so when Sherell came with his talent, we greedy. We want to win. We used to win. You know what I mean? So we want more trophies on this table. That was our mindset. So, that was an easy decision. Plus, I think Rob touched on it a little bit. When you love the game, you're willing to sacrifice a piece of your game for the betterment of the team.
Yeah.
We learned that. We learned that early.
So what we need to do is we need to tape that, and I'm going to tweet that out tomorrow, because 90% of the players today have no clue what you just said. It makes no sense to them. Their game, I mean, God, the thought that, like you said, we got you guys, and not to cut you off, but you're talking about, you see this great player, you've got 2 great players, and you all are asking this great player to stay home or not to go back home to play with other great players, and then he says he can. It's something to be said about that. But if you look in the NBA now, they're doing it in the NBA. It is still not a thing in high school ball. Kids today still like Gordon said, they'd rather shoot the ball 30 times, score 30 points and lose than score 12, 14 points and win. And it's hard getting guys to recognize that you can still go to college by being on a good team and playing in the right way and playing with other good players. And it's obvious that whatever it is that your coach, you guys did back there 30 years ago, it's obvious today, because it's clear when I see you guys just out, you all are together. And then I get on here and you guys are in the same room. I can't even get Rob. I could not even get Rob to come over to get on this Zoom together. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
That's how we roll out here in the wood. That's how we roll out here in the wood.
That's Ty, you hit it around the head. That's huge. So, like now, even with me, with the team I had a couple years ago that didn't win, but they were successful when we had Xavier Pinson. who probably didn't average 10 points and did not start and came from where he could have scored 30 points or whatever and started. And he still ended up going to Missouri and playing the SEC and starting as a freshman because all he wanted to do was win. Exactly. You know, we had some conversations where he thought like, hey, man, I'm really playing good, man. I probably should be starting now. And I said, but that ain't the conversation we had. Right. That's not the conversation we had. The conversation we had is what you're doing right now. And if you can play, you're going to be out there. I don't care if you start or not. Because, right. I mean, I tell kids and people, I tell kids all the time, this is my motto. You want to start. I had no problem with that. We'll start the game. We'll jump ball. Hopefully we win the tip. I call a timeout. You sub out. You start it. You didn't say you want to play. You said you want to start.
Right.
I did that before. All right. Man, go get him as soon as that ball comes out.
Well, you guys have enough good players to do that. I can't take a good player off the floor, so I can't do that. I don't have enough good players to do that. Sorry, I wish I could say that. Man, that sounds like a plan. But no, really, I tell you, I am. Again, I know the history of that group. I did not know 65 wins and 1 loss. I did not know that. That's amazing. I guess my question would be to you guys. What drive? I mean, I guess I kind of know what you will answer. How do you guys stay motivated to win 65 games over the course of 2 years? How do you do that? I mean, that's hard as hell. It's hard for me to stay motivated to win 1 game in a row in 65 years.
That's just being a winner. If you're passionate about the game, you love the game, you're gonna do what it takes.
Mm-hmm.
And just being as a player, you're gonna do what it takes. You're gonna tell, like me, Donnie, and Mike, we told each other, we ain't gonna lose no more games. After we lost against Rock Island, that was the 1 game we lost.
They still were you at Rock Island?
Who was on that
game? 1 game.
We lost at the bottom. Yeah, at Rock Island.
They want that game
back. When you went in that gym, it was like a college gym.
Yeah.
December 16, 1990.
The atmosphere was so like college. So we was like, we lost that game. We went back to the hotel. We ain't gonna lose no more games, man.
So you guys lost that. You guys graduated in what year?
1991.
Oh, y'all graduated in 91?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. The team after we graduated went undefeated.
Yeah,
with Kenny Davis,
92, right?
Jamal Robinson, Ray Gay, and
okay. So the 91 team and the 92 team are the ones who won the state championships.
Exactly.
Okay, now here goes, because here's my thing, because I was in a debate, and when I say the 2 teams, y'all gonna already know which team I picked. So the argument, which was the better team, you guys' 91 team or King's 90 team? That was the big argument. It was. I'm talking about it was big. And they had matchups, who was going to guard who. They had all these different things going on. And by me leaving to go to college, I didn't see you guys play. But I heard people saying, like, Rob, they was really good. It's not like they just would have beat them. You know, I didn't know.
Yeah, that was like a big debate on Facebook.
Yeah, you saw
it on Facebook. I'm like,
so
I didn't comment on it.
Who was the guard?
I watched them play CVS at the 2000 West tournament.
Oh, man.
So I knew how good they was.
when Sherell had to give it to my man, Big Nuke, you know, we triple teamed to win that game. He was so frustrated after that game. Every time he touched the ball, Sherell actually guarded him, but every time he touched the ball, me and Mike came from
Big Nuke gave somebody a hard foul too. Who he get a hard foul to?
Oh man, I think whether he pushed Sherell to the ground, maybe me, one of us, you know, we got him frustrated.
I remember that game like it was yesterday.
So did Kenny Davis play with y'all too, or he didn't play with y'all?
No, Kenny was a sophomore.
He was a sophomore.
That's what the debate was saying that he was young.
Nah.
They said he was good, but they said he was young, and King had all senior guards and senior players.
Yeah, but let me say this: we did play them going into their senior year.
Okay.
A couple of times that summer, we beat them once over there at Argo, and then I think they beat us a couple of times at the Centennial Classic. If you remember when they used to do that down the Grove. I think our depth would have been a problem for anybody. And, you know, we could start a lineup at Ray Gay was about 6'3", 6'4". Mike about 6'7", you know. Mike was about 6'6" at that time. Sherell 6'7". I was 6'5", then Jamal was 6'5". So, you know, and we all could pass, dribble, shoot. You know, that's what a lot of kids don't understand. It's so simple, but a lot of kids can't do those three basic things. Doesn't possess those three basic skills.
But I mean, man, you done had many conversations about that. As soon as they come in the gym and they grab a ball, they go to the 3-point line.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I mean, I mean, Nikki, that's you, baby, all day.
Yeah, all day, man. We'll get some shots up, baby.
Hey, Nick
You
still
saw
got
Nick
that wet
was
ball.
looking when I said they grabbed the ball, go straight to the 3-point line. He like, what you talking about? That's what you're supposed to do.
That's what you're supposed to do.
That's an introductory drill at Morgan Park. Get in, get your point shots up.
But you know, one thing I will say about just Kenny in particular and Mike going from my junior year to our senior year made a tremendous jump. I mean, he grew. No, a lot of people don't realize Mike going into our senior year was only like maybe 6'1", 6'2". Me and Sherell went to the national tournaments, so we was maybe gone for about a month. I came back. Mike was standing like 6'6".
Wow.
You know, within those 3 weeks. And during that time, he actually held it down on his own, and that's when he started to kind of get his name out there. We ended up winning the summer league, and he led the team. But me and Sherell missed most of that whole summer, and then we just got to the championship, and we ended up winning the championship. But Mike got us to the championship, you know, with Kenny and Jamal and some other guys. But, you know, Kenny, a lot of people don't know about Kenny, you know, Davis. Kenny was one of the first guards out here, if my memory serves me right. I think, Nick, you played in that game, one of the first games, the Nike
that was Mike.
One in the Nike Phenom or something like that.
Yeah, that was Mike. Him and Mike played it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That Nike, the first Nike versus the International.
Yeah.
Little tournament that they did. I think it was at the Rosemont.
It was at the Rosemont Horizon. I think the Sun-Times put it on.
Yeah. You know, Kenny played on that, and then Kenny. I remember during his sophomore year, Kenny got a letter from Arkansas, and we laughed at him. We in lunch, you know, we kids, you know. So he like, I got my first major letter. We like, all right, man, hey, throw it in the box. You know, we got boxes and boxes. Like, we don't care about no letters no more. So, you know, we in lunch and we talking about it. You know, he's like, I'm going to Arkansas. I was like, Kenny, you can't commit right now. Like, this is the first one. Like, it's gonna be so many more. But that's how good he was, you know, because at that time, you know, Nolan Richardson in that 40 minutes of hell, I wanted to go to Arkansas, you know, because that kind of fit our style.
Kenny Davis was a bad boy.
Bad boy, there we go.
Man, Kenny Davis
a bad boy.
Ring the bell, bad boy.
Yeah,
we need
Kenny
a bill
Davis.
for the bad boy.
He attacks you, boy. He came at you, Kenny
We need
Davis.
like the strobe light. When Nick says that, that's when the strobe light goes.
Man, when Nick go and say somebody a bad boy, then we know our show is
They're
on
bad
fire.
boy.
Oh, boy, it's a bad boy.
Yeah, Kenny will put 40 on you, man.
Yeah, and so nonchalant about it.
Wow.
Yeah,
You know? Like, we'd be like, man, I never forget. We played the super sectional, and it was against Cliff Floyd. We played Thornwood, right? And so, you know, we get these scouting reports. Oh, this guy's supposed to be like this, and this guy's supposed to be like that. And I never forget. By this time, we balling up the scouting report. Like, man, y'all say he's supposed to be like Magic. Man, he ain't want nothing like Magic. Man. Say he's supposed to be like Z. He ain't nothing like Z, you know. So they tell us Cliff Floyd who was good in baseball and actually went to play in the, you know, in the major league. Oh man, he like Charles Barkley. We like, yeah, right. Like, he nobody like Charles Barkley.
Whatever, man.
Was he TF South? Was
Yeah, I think it was Thornwood.
Thornwood.
Yeah, he was at Thornwood. So this the first play, jump ball. I never forget this. They win the jump. They win the tip. Right? They point guard behind half court, take one dribble, and he tossed the ball. So we all kind of like casually running back, like, what are they doing? Then out of nowhere, Cliff Floyd come out of nowhere. Jordan, like, knocked the rim. The whole deck went up. I mean, the gym just went in flames. So they had us on our heels that whole first half. Like, we were down maybe like 14 at one point, 16 points. You know, so second quarter, you know, we started getting a little rhythm, started chipping away. We hit a half-court shot to put us up one at halftime, right? So now we all running in like, yeah, man, we gonna win this game. Like, yeah. Kenny give us just a head nod. Let's go, y'all. But that was him. You know what I mean? So nonchalant, but like Nick said, silent assassin. Right? It was many games he'll have 24 points, and we'd be like, where did he get that from?
Where did that come from?
Like, but he do what he do. He do what he do.
I don't. Nick, you played them when since Donnie been coaching?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the referees tried to get me at West. Tried to get me.
No, tell the truth. They
was winning at halftime.
Y'all attacked Sterling, got Sterling in foul trouble. Sterling, when they got in foul trouble, because he came out hot in that championship game. He came out hot that first quarter.
Sterling was killing.
I remember looking down, Nick. You probably don't remember this. I remember looking down. See, this is what I do. I have doing timeouts. A lot of people always ask me, why you go in the middle of the court? And, you know, talk to the coaches. I'm like, really, I'm trying to see what the other team's doing, what the other coach doing. You know, ain't no big strategy. We ain't really talking about nothing. I'm trying to see who they gonna sub, trying to see what he talking about. And I remember, Nick, you going, I think it was the kid that went to Bradley. I can't even remember his name right now.
Josh Cunningham.
Josh Cunningham. I see you doing Josh like this, and you pointing at Sterling. I tell Sherell, like, man, we might be in trouble, man. Like, they go over there getting Josh revved up, man. They come at Sterling. And Sterling, you know, being competitive, I knew he wasn't going to back down. So,
no, he didn't.
It was a great game. They ended up pulling it away. You know, you had a little bit more savviness with your guard than at that time. He leads the guy, he's still searching for himself, but, you know, it was a good game.
Man, that was a good game, man. They was winning at, I think they were winning at halftime, 28-32, somewhere like that. So I went to the ref. I said, dang, man, we should just stay at home if you don't give me like this. I said, I know I got two legends over there, man. I said, man, but y'all got to understand. I said, man, my family went to East. You see my mama over there? She cheated me. I said, so it was just you trying to cheat me. I said, man, my auntie over there, man, like, oh, they went to East. I said, that's family. I said, come on, Ralph, give me a good shake, man. And I told you.
But you know what, though? You know what, Nick? Rob and Ty did me so dirty, right? They don't remember this. They invited us to the Elite Classic, right?
Oh, no.
And set me up with Utah. Now, they ain't know I do my homework. So I'm telling my team, like, hey, man, these ain't your typical white boys. This ain't your typical white kids, man. They come in the hood and play. They come in the hood and play. Like, y'all better come with y'all A game. And unfortunately, Sterling got hurt. But even with, I mean, yeah, he was hurt. Something happened that game. I know he didn't play.
No, you suspended him. You suspended him.
I ain't want to say that, you know.
No, because, well, okay, before you tell the rest of your story, you suspended him, and I'll never get me and Rob were talking about it. We're like, oh, my God. But we said we got profound respect for him. If he's going to take his best player and put him on the sideline before he play these boys, God bless him. God bless him. Tell your story.
You don't even know the backstory behind that, man. I had to get police escort to that game, man. These people was about to kill me out here. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, the funny part about it was, I'm telling Sherell at halftime, like, man, I can't believe we like up 6. Like, man, these dudes ain't what I thought they would. And I tell Sherell, like, man, the only thing we got to worry about, they really haven't started shooting the three. You know, they really haven't started driving and kicking. Like, I forgot the kid name. I think it was Nick Ivory or something like that. You know, we kind of held them in check that first half. Man,
They had Hall.
Third quarter. He was probably like 6 for 7, 8 for 8.
they came out and bombed over bagged us. You know, it was 3 after 3 after 3. You know what I mean? It was over with. I just had to sit there, and I just remember looking at you two, like, man, I can't. Ooh,
Man, they got it.
they got it. They be so dirty. They set me up.
No, we didn't set you up. We told you. I told you when we first said it. I told you. You said, what can they do? I said, let me tell you something. These white boys can hoop. I mean, they can shoot. They can run.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I played them, and the reason that we bought them, because I played them in Myrtle Beach and lost to them, and I came back. And, of course, the Chicago people, y'all lost to some white boys from Utah. I can't believe it. I told Rob, I said, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to invite them to come to Chicago so everybody can have an opportunity to see what Lone Peak is. And at that time, you all were really good. You all were really good. I said, this is going to be a great game. But I told you, Donnie, I said, these boys can hoop. I said, they played like black boys, but they're all white. Well, the only difference was everybody shot the ball well on that team. It wasn't 1 or 2 guys, five guys. They could pass, dribble, and shoot and shoot and shoot. Yeah, they were pretty good. They were pretty good.
You know, and I can't remember the big man, but we were calling him.
They
We were calling him Drago. It was like, man, Drago killing us, man. I'm telling Sherell, I forgot the big guy.
Went to BYU.
Yeah, like, man, they let Drago bang us.
Mika?
Big guy went to BYU.
I'm looking at their roster.
Those kids just got done playing.
Yeah,
Because they had to go and do the mission. They had to go do the mission.
They came back. Those guys just got done. They're just finishing up.
Nick Emery.
NBA, how many years now?
6.
Yeah, 6.
Like,
Six.
Yeah, TJ Hall is the guy who just finished. He was amazing.
Yeah.
TJ Hall, yeah.
TJ
Well,
Haas.
the coach,
Yeah, Haas. Yeah, Haas was one of them. He actually had a brother, I think, if I remember right, on that
yep,
team.
he did. Yep, he did.
The coach is
I mean,
in Utah now, right?
Well, I don't think he's still there. Most of those kids. The coach, as Rob was saying, the coach actually wound up going to BYU also to be a coach. I don't think he's there anymore. But I mean, they did a great job with that team. I mean, it was a great game. Again, we'd love for Sterling to play to the game. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know how much of a difference he would have made that night with the way they shot the ball. It wasn't about him not being good or you all being bad. I mean, they shot. I think that year they won the national championship. They won the national championship that year.
Wow.
You know, so it was a good game. But no, don't think of it as like a setup. That was like a welcome to the club. That's what it was.
Okay, let me say this then. Since we bombed, because see, I remember we got like 40 piece. So I told Sherell after the game, like, man, they never gonna invite us back to this event, man. I can't believe I just did this. Can I get an invite back? Can we get an invite
Well,
back?
okay. We're gonna invite you all back this year. You guys are coming back this year. Okay.
Yeah, during the pandemic, my man.
Hey, no, we'll get you back. You know what? We'll get you back now that you called that one. We had a little thing a few weeks ago where we said this year, because we're probably not going to really be able to have it the way we normally had it, we're going to invite anybody that asks. Everybody come. You get an invite. You get an invite. Everybody get an invite. Yeah.
Guys, before we go, I want to know about Sterling. I mean, he's such an underrated Chicago product. You know, he's in the NBA. Like, does he get enough attention? You know, and when did you know he could make it and beat the odds? Can we hear him?
I think that I don't know if the mic went off or not.
I think your mic went off for a second. Yeah, when did you guys know that Sterling could be the guy that he is?
Well, you know, for me, I've seen Sterling play since he was maybe in the 6th or 7th grade. So I've seen his progression. I've seen him work on his craft. You know, I think for him personally, you know, when he started being competitive against his brother, you know, because I would watch them play one-on-one. Mike used to hold a camp every summer, and we would work, you know, the camp, and you know how it is, counselors, and then you got that brotherly rivalry. So, you know, I started seeing Sterling getting more aggressive against Shannon, starting gaining more confidence. You know, I call Sterling the Swiss Army knife, you know, because he can do a lot of things. You know, he has a lot of tools. You know, like Nick said, he's the perfect player, in my opinion, for any team because the small ball here in the NBA now, he can realistically guard anywhere from 1 through 5, you know, and make it tough on him. You know, my only gripe with Sterling, he's still kind of an area I should say that I would wish that he would work on because he's so good. I wish he was more aggressive, you know, just, you know, when I say aggressive, if he had Shannon's aggressiveness and because Sterling, don't get me wrong, he's aggressive, but, you know, sometimes he leaves you, he flashes and leaves you more and more. But great player. I mean, great player. You know, he works hard, great kid. I mean, everything that I think he's just starting to tap what he can do. And for him personally in the NBA, if it's not Milwaukee, I can see him, you know, being a nice 6-man role for somebody, a championship team down the road.
Because I
He
remember
was
when
really good. He was really good against us when we played downstate. He actually was a problem for us because we really had nobody. I mean, Kendall Pollard was the only person that really could to have a great chance of really trying to guard him at that point. You know, he was.
But, you know, I think any time, and you know this, everybody want to test themselves against the best, and what Jabari did in the number 1, you know, I think that played a little factor in. But the second time we played you, I thought he played just as well. You know, even though he didn't score as many points, he had a better overall game. Right. The second time we played y'all down there. But, you know, Sterling, the one thing I always loved about Sterling, and I love this about any player, I like kids that are not afraid to step up and have a challenge, you know, and step on that stage. Like, some kids, you know, y'all all seen this, we all seen this. Some kids talking and afraid to walk it. You know, Sterling gonna talk and walk it, and he want to step into that spotlight. You know, everybody say they want to be. I want to play in the big game. I want to do this and what, but they don't really understand the emotions that you have to play with to be able to handle that moment. You know, and Sterling always stepped into that spotlight and wanted that shine on him.
Yeah, we talk about that on here with our guys who we coach, you know, during the time. Pretty much like we plan, you know, this little bitty team, you can go out and get 30, but then now we finna get ready to play Morgan Park in Chicago State, and it's a packed house. What you gonna do then? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How you gonna break it down? I mean, Derek was a plain example of that, and Ty coached him, and he knows when we just play regular teams, you like, he the best player?
Right.
And when them big games came, you'd be like, oh, that's why he the best player.
Yeah.
Games came, I ain't had no worries in the world that he was going to show up. I'm like, we good now because he here.
Yeah,
It was the other games that I kind of worried about when the teams were just like, okay, they weren't really good. I kind of worried about them games because he wouldn't even really be playing hard. He'd just be kind of going through the motions. Yeah. But you say you playing against Oak Hill or you playing against teams like that, and he gonna bring it. So I definitely understand what you're saying, and that's our kids that we coaching now. They don't even have that. A lot of them don't have that mentality.
Right.
They don't have that same mentality. Like this, the game that really matter. You know what I'm saying? It ain't this game where you got 30 against this team that just
right. I'm gonna tell you a funny story. Right. I remember we was going to play Curie, and so we getting on the bus. So the bus driver pulled me to the side. He's like, man, you know, you're going to have to really kind of hype the kids up, you know, prep them up. I'm like, what you talking about? Like, man, I got my speech, you know, I come with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you talking about? So he like, I just heard one of the kids getting on the bus talking about, man, we gotta go ride all the way out here just to lose. I'm like, nah, he ain't say that. You know what I'm saying? And it was actually a kid that was in the rotation.
Wow.
So, you know, I'm looking like, man, that's what I'm up against now. You know, the mentality of these kids, because I'm not getting on no best talking about I'm afraid to ride all the way out here and take the head. I don't know nothing about that type of language, but you know.
I mean, tying Nick, this the part I didn't like about AAU. And these guys, they AAU guys, and they love it. I just didn't like the part about the losing part and then being able to come back and play.
Yeah.
That part bothered me because kids knew no matter what the situation was, I was going to play again. And even when it mattered, if I lost, I'm not going to be in the gold bracket. They're going to put me down to the silver now. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that mentality because I thought it brought on a losing mentality. But then when they started EYBL, that kind of changed everything and mindsets like, hey, these things matter to win because either you're not going to make the Peach Jam at all, you're going to get in this position and you're going to have to play the number one team. You know, so when they started and created that, I thought that kind of changed a lot of it. But just to go to the little kind of small mom and po things, I think that kind of throw the kids' mentality off like losing is acceptable. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to play again.
Yeah, but you know what? The unfortunate part about that whole thing, some of these kids, to be honest with you, and go back to what I said before, they rather just score points and not win. Winning is not important. And I tell people with my team, when we're on the road or when we go away and we're together, you don't have your cell phones. You just can't have your cell phones. Because if you want to piss me off, let's have a game and let's say we lose, and the moment we leave the locker room, you're on your cell phone. Oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Because how can you be having fun after we lost? I don't understand it.
Hey.
I don't want to talk to nobody.
Hey, and I'm on the road with
well, hold on.
I'm gonna sit back out now. I don't even want to talk about.
I don't talk to nobody. And then after I lose to Rob, he calls me 30 minutes later. Man, I don't want to talk to you. Man, don't be calling me. So now what I do, when I beat him 29 minutes after I call him, I'm going to mess up your night too.
But I mean, we when we on the road, and I mean, it's pretty much both of us. I'm a little different. I call him and we talk about the game. But if he lose, I already know I talk to him in the morning because he's not going to answer the phone. He's not going to call me. So we'll talk about what happened in the morning. But that's just all about competitive natures. You know what I'm saying? We expect to win every time we get there. These kids don't have that natural winning thing. You know, all of us on here coaches, and when you look at our passion on the sideline, that tells you enough on how much we want to win. Right. Coach Emmerich had told me when I first started, one thing you can't do is want this more than them.
More than the kids. Absolutely not. Yeah. Absolutely not. And again, when you talk about, and again, we look at all the guys on this screen, winning is something that all of us have had an opportunity to do. You know, a lot of you guys, Nick, as a player, Rob, you played, Sherell, and Donnie, you guys played. I didn't play. But there's something to be said about wanting to be a winner and wanting to win. And when as coaches, we want to win, I think we hope it becomes infectious amongst our players. And when it doesn't, I mean, I would imagine like for you guys, especially like Nick and all of you guys that played the game, it's got to be hard when guys are not committed to winning. When you were so used to winning, that's got to be hard. You know, for me, I never played basketball, so I didn't know what it meant to miss a free throw or miss a layup or any of that stuff. But for you guys, you all know what that's like. And I just wish more kids would be vested in the game, not just to get better, but to play on teams where they can help those teams be successful and not be as concerned about how many points that they had. You know, you hear the kid, you ask them, and I hear it when I'm leaving the locker room or people on the phones and they talking, hey, how did you do? The first thing they say, I had 14. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, but your man had 26. I mean, what the hell are you talking about? You had no rebounds. You didn't get any block shots. You had one assist, and that was almost an accident because they doubled you and cut you off, and then you threw the ball accidentally. But everybody thinks the only way to be good in this game is to score points. Is to score points. And it doesn't mean winning. You know, you don't have to win. You know, what's the saying? You all know it. I got mine. I got mine.
And another thing, I got to touch on Sterling Brown. You know, because I coached him for a couple of years, and you know, Sterling probably be mad if I ain't throw my 2 cents in on him, man. But Sterling Brown was a do-it-all type of player. Like he played multiple positions, like Donnie said. And one thing about him, he cared about winning. And every time we played on the AAU circuit, where it was, he gave me everything he got. And I always used to tell college coaches, like, you need a guy like Sterling Brown on your team because, first of all, he cared about winning. He's a great teammate. He got some stuff to him. You know, he got a Main Street to him where he gonna say like, man, hey, they need to give me the ball, man. But I always like that though. You know what I'm saying? Because I always want him to be aggressive. Like Dad said, man, if he like aggressive, oh man, sky's the limit with him. Yeah. But he's doing a good job in the NBA. But I think he got more. He got more in him, and he need to bring it out a little bit more. But man, when I coached him, man, he was one of my favorite players because he played a little point guard for me. I posted him up. I did a number of things with him, and you know, I just enjoyed coaching him, man.
Well, you know,
and touch on what Rob said about the EYBL. I think that brought the competitive nature back of winning and stuff because you're playing for something. Most of these AAU events, you're just playing just to be playing. And like I always tell the players I coach, just because I coach at Morgan Park don't mean I'm not going to coach you up that I don't want to win. Right. I say I know it might hurt me. I coach some of y'all some of y'all players, so I already knew coming back to it. I'm coaching them hard like I'm on the sideline more. I already knew they won't come back and kick out, but you know what I'm saying? Plus, I'd be talking stuff to them. So, you know what I'm saying? So, I already knew that. But the EYBL, bringing the EYBL into play, I think it made a great deal because now kids playing for something.
Yeah. Not only that.
That kind of changed my whole perspective on it. I mean, and what it did it for all of the shoe companies then. Yeah. For the most part, all of them started, you know, trying to emulate what the EYBL was. Of course, it's only the best brand, you know, with that swoosh sign on. There ain't no better brand in the world. They tried to emulate that type of thing, which it still was good. It gave the kids something to play for, and they were playing for a championship, and they wanted to be on the stage to go play in those games. Nobody want to say we didn't make the Peach Jam or we didn't make whatever the Adidas thing is or whatever the nobody wants to say that we ain't make it. So we going to the little small gym now and play over here. You still down there, but nobody's in there really watching you play because you didn't do what you were supposed to do to get in the big dance.
Yeah, because if you don't go to Peach Jam, you're in trouble. Man, we was on the road playing, and we lost. I said, listen, man, don't ask me for no food. No, I don't even want to talk, man. I said we lost, man. I don't want to hear that. Let's go eat. Man, we just lost, man. We may not be going to Peach Jam, man. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I want to hear that.
Nick, Sherell, we laughing over here because you sound like me.
No. Hey, Donnie. Man, they be like, hey, can we go eat? No, man, we ain't going to eat.
Man, I said.
We lost. Man.
I got an NBA question for you guys, too, after this. I got next in line.
You know, Nick, I'm going to say this about that. You know, I remember why Sherell laughed, man. We lost to St. Viator, Javon Carter senior year. And this was one of my worst losses ever. It was worse than that Long Peak loss because we was up 7-8 with like a minute 20 left. Right? And so I call a timeout and I tell them like, hey man, we ain't got to shoot the ball no more.
Shot clock.
I told everybody just, hey, you get in this corner, you go in that corner, you go in this corner. Hey, don't even go by the rim.
Attempt to go to the basket.
We gonna hold the ball because they in the zone. They're gonna come out right. You know, it was a matchup zone. But I knew they was gonna have to get aggressive at that point. So I pulled Javon to the side like, hey man, hold the ball. You shoot the free throw. Don't pass. Right. So make a long story short, he go past, you know, we going overtime, we lose the game. So they got a spread for us after the game, right? So we walking off the court, and I'm heated. So I tell Sherell as soon as the game over with, hey man, hurry up and go grab that food. Don't let them touch the food. Nobody about to eat nothing right now. I gotta get this off my chest. It's burning me up. I can't believe we just lost this game. So now I get stopped and I got to do a little interview afterwards, whatever. I get in the locker room, so I can hear Sherell and the coaches like, "Hey man, didn't he tell you put this stuff down?" So
Don't touch nothing.
man, I walk in and one of the players and one of the coaches put like they sandwich down on the bench, right? And so he tried to like grab it while I was walking past, so I stopped and punted it out his hand like it's his garbage. Like, dude, didn't I tell you nobody eat nothing right now?
Nobody eat, man.
As a matter of fact, man, get all this out of here. I tell Sherell to take all the food out.
Donnie, that brings me back to when we played De La Salle the year that played time when they had
Mike Shaw.
Jalen Tate was on that team. When they beat us at UIC, they had Mike Shaw.
Yeah,
they had all those games.
Dre Henley there?
Yeah. No, Dre Henley might have been. Was Dre Henley there? He might have been gone. But they had a really good team. It was Jabari freshman year. They beat us bad. So we go in the locker room. They got Lou Manati's in there on the team. So I'm in there giving my speech about, you know, the game and loss. So I grab all the pizza and just throw it.
No.
So when the game over, after I get there on my speech, one of my assistant coaches is like, "Man, I want some of that pizza."
But you know, that's the competitiveness in this, Rob. You know, you want to win at all costs, man. We grew up, you know, like you say, Nick, I grew up, man. You don't win. I went there and asked my 8th grade coach, "Hey, can you stop and let me get a Gatorade?" Like, we had to sit in the car and be quiet. You know, I remember that game we lost to Rock Island. Now, that's a 3-hour ride from Rock Island. We stayed that night, so we thought, man, he ain't going to give us the talk. We spent the night. So we got up the next morning. So, you know, for the next 3 hours, he talked to us about that game. And we was, you know, because we
got headphones off.
What we were listening to Robin Harris. Remember Robin Harris, the comedian? He let us listen to the you know, his little stand-up going there. So we like, man, Coach Chick, can we listen to Robin Harris? He was like, nah, matter of fact, he threw the tape out the window.
No.
So we're going to talk about that game for these next 3 hours. Man, and that was the most boringest 3 hours. But it put a lot of things in perspective, though, because, you know, we kind of realized where we made our mistakes at, and we weren't going to make that mistake no more. We weren't going to relax and be complacent.
Man, I learned up close and personal with that, man. My dad used to be like, "Man, if y'all don't perform, y'all ain't eating."
Right.
That's why I eat a lot now, because, man, he ain't let us eat after. Man, if we ain't perform, man, no. My mama didn't say a word either. No, you can't eat.
Man.
All
right.
I'm like, I don't know how you could lose a game and it's just okay. You know what I'm saying? Why are you checking your Instagram? Why are you even dealing with that stuff right now? You know, guys coming in the locker room, they want to take off their shoes. And no, everybody sit down and shut up for 1 second. Don't nobody say nothing.
Don't take nothing off.
Talk together first.
Don't untie them shoes. You untie them shoes and taking them.
Because if you playing at Simeon, we might be running. You don't know what might happen. So you definitely need to have them on. But just the respect part of somebody coming in grabbing their phone, you know, that's just disrespectful. You know, that's just disrespectful for you just to come in I mean, even if you won, it's disrespectful for you to be grabbing your phone because maybe you didn't play a good game and coach about to talk. You know, these kids need a lot of stuff that they're not getting. You know, it's just a lot that they don't have. So.
And that's part of the reason why we came back, you know, to kind of give that knowledge that was passed on to us kids from my neighborhood, from my high school, you know. I wouldn't feel right, even though we've done things with Mike and through his foundation, you know, to kind of give back to our community. You know, I thought this was the perfect opportunity for me personally to kind of have a little hands-on. And then when Sherell, you know, when I called Sherell and asked him would he be interested, you know, I thought that was a great idea. Like, you know, man, if I can get Mike now, we'll be off to the races, you know. Maybe I have those 13 or whatever y'all got collected. State championship if Mike was with me right now. But we, you know, like I said, Rob, that was our way of kind of feeding that East, you know, mentality, you know, because once you're a Pirate, we got a saying out here, once you're a Pirate, always a Pirate, you know. Since the 70s, you know, we've put one alumni every decade in the NBA. And there's a reason, because our culture is kind of fed down from generation, is embedded in us, you know. Just like you can't say I'm from Chicago and come with that weak game. You can't say you play at East and don't know how to play defense, don't understand the game. You know, you're going to learn how to play the game the right way.
Well, that was, for me, I'm in the time, Nick part, that was the best hire they could have made, was to bring you back. I mean, just, you look at most of these schools, and I mean, Ty and Nick, especially Nick, he took a program that was not pretty much a basketball program. You know, people knew about it. They had their little stretches where they were good, you know, but when he got there, was a consistent basis of them being good. You knew every time you went to play that you had to come and play. You know, you're not like walking in the gym like, oh, this gonna be easy, or you knew you had to come play. And then what Ty did at Whitney Young, how he took that place to the next level, you know, to get it to where it's at. So what you did was, and the best thing they could have did behind you was to put it where it was at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And have somebody there who know what it feel like, what it means.
Right.
You know, somebody like you say, I bleed blue. You know, I know how to win. I know how to do that. The problem that all of us have is doing this is getting these young kids to understand that and believe in this culture.
Right.
You know, some of us get it a little bit different than others, but it's just some that just don't get it. And man, you talk about it all the time. You be like, man, summer league game, these kids don't want to play no summer league. They'd rather be hanging on the block and shit.
Yeah.
Or just being with their friends. And you like, no, we need to be balling. We need to be playing. We need to be doing this. So they don't really understand what they got.
Right.
With y'all two there. That's probably the biggest problem. They don't understand that. They don't
they don't even understand it as much, because when we first came, we used to practice with them, you know, and I think that kind of helped the kids buy into the system, you know, because not only can I teach it, I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate. I'm gonna execute this move on you. I'm gonna go between my legs crossover. You know what I'm saying? The Texas two-step. And now you can't, that's too slow, coach. Like, it ain't about fast or too slow. It's all about setting them up, you know.
For the next one.
Well, I won't be doing no Texas two-step, and I can promise you that. I won't be doing no Texas two-step. I won't be doing no tween and none of that. I'm not doing none of that.
I'll tell you what would be entertaining is Ty versus Gordon one-on-one. That would be some real comedy.
Look, and let me say, it'll be just like playing. It'll be like Tyrone playing Lone Peak. They'll be like, you ain't gonna let that white boy beat you, and I won't let him beat you.
You don't know about my 15-footer. I have a good 15-footer. That's all I'm gonna say.
We gonna get that game going.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Put your money on black. I'm gonna beat Gordon. I tell you that.
Oh man. Well, hey, Donnie, you weren't kidding about there's a Pirate in every decade in the NBA, because you played with another Proviso East graduate, right? On the 95-96 Hawks.
Yeah.
What was that like to be with Reggie Jordan?
Oh man, you know, a lot of people don't realize Reds, you know, went to East, you know.
Mine just got to me.
Yeah. And so, you know, knowing Reg and being younger than him, and then for us to kind of go through that experience, even though he was playing professionally, I mean, that just really made me even more comfortable. I had Snake there that kind of, you know, helped me a little bit in terms of adjusting. But when you got somebody from your neighborhood that you know, I mean, everybody know that, man, you just feel that more confident,
Yeah.
that more comfortable. And then, you know, it kind of helped me focus because I was kind of frustrated because that was the first time in my career I didn't get on the floor, you know, and so.
Wait, real quick before you get going, can I tell them why you didn't get on the floor? Listen to this roster. Spud Webb, Steve Smith, Howard Nathan, Peoria, by the way, Christian Leitner, Reggie Jordan,
Stacey Augman.
Mookie Blaylock, Stacey Augman.
Yeah.
Who's going to crack that lineup? It's don't beat yourself up.
Craig Elo.
Greg Elo was there. You know, yeah, I got a funny story
Henderson.
about Craig Elo, right? So
Ken Norman.
yeah, Nate Mutabo was on that team, the Kimbe. So
Damn.
you know, my leg was broke. So when I finally was able, initially when the season started, so when I finally got on the floor, this was before Reg had joined the team. So this may be like January. Reg came towards the end of the month. And so during the first call-ups. So I was telling Reg, like, man, you know, Craig pushed me out the air, man. You know, this is my first practice. Normally, man, I would have went at him, got at him for real, but I had to play it cool. You know, I didn't want to come off and be the problem and wait for this moment. And he trying to pump me, right? So Reg still, he's like, don't worry about it, man. We gonna get him back. I'm like, yeah, man, if you get a break, throw it off the backboard, drop it off between your legs, do something, man. Let me get him back, right? This happened to be maybe a week or two later, if we get the break, and he dropped it between his legs. And we talked about it. Like, if you drop it between your legs, shield him until I get in the air. And so once I get in the air, just move. So just stay there like a second or two so he can't see me coming, right? So he dropped it off. And when I tell you, I like walked on his chest to dunk it, you know what I'm saying? And swung on the rim. And if y'all remember, he fell kind of like when Scotty dunked on Patrick Ewing. And, so, you know, he fell. I'm all over like, yeah, and that's the last time, man. I should have did it. First time you did it.
You did that to Mutombo?
No, it was the Craig Elo.
Oh, to Craig Elo. Still hate.
But, you know, Reg, you know, we used to, when Reg came, like I said, he kind of, and Snake, they really helped me understand what it takes to be a professional. Because like I said, that was my first time not getting on the court. And I was frustrated. I mean, I was going crazy. And I was in Lenny office every day like, hey, how did I do in practice? Okay, what I need to do? You know, and I wasn't that one of them type of players, you know. But I wanted to play. That's how bad I wanted to play. And so Red kind of, you know, told me just chill, keep working on your game, you know, keep your head down, just keep working. So that was great for me when he came.
But our 45 minutes then went to an hour and a half.
You guys are amazing.
Well, you said act like we in the barbershop.
I didn't.
This is crazy.
But this is normally what happens when we get on. It just go. It's not a scripted thing. You know what I'm saying? We want everybody to be real and tell their story. So because people don't know your story like that. You know what I'm saying? So when people hear this and they listen to it, they're gonna know your story. Like, man, I didn't even know that about him. I didn't even know that. And
I didn't know that about them. I didn't know that about them. I mean, I'm sitting here just taking it in, and you know what? Now, Donnie, to be honest with you, I have a newfound respect for you guys. I'll only beat you by 20 next time. Now that I know you've done all this.
All right. So, Donnie, you played with Ken Norman, who went to Crane. You played with Reggie, who went to Proviso East. We got to talk about Sherell. He's Mr. Quiet over there. You played for one of the greatest teams that didn't win a NBA title, 95-96 Sonics. I mean, what was it, 64-18 you went that year. So you're part of some winning teams. You got Sherell Ford. I'm going to read the roster real quick. Sherell Ford, Percy Hawkins, pretty cool. Sean Kemp, Nate McMillan, Gary Payton, Sam Perkins, Detlef Schrempf, Eric Snow. What was that like to be on that team?
That was an amazing time. Like Donnie said, I was the same way. I was used to playing all the time. My guy came, Herschel Hawkins, from Chicago, went to Westinghouse. He seen, picked me up as I'm a rookie. Like, come on, Rook. So I'm sitting there like, man, I'm supposed to be playing though. come on, Rook, keep your head up. You're gonna be playing. I'm sitting there like, man, whatever, man. I'm used to playing. Like, why? No, the whole year. No. George Carl, he was known for not playing rookies, and I knew that. Whereas me as a player, you know what I'm saying? I'm in the NBA now. I went to college. I'm playing. I'm starting the whole time. Now I get to the NBA, I ain't playing. But on that team, man, that was a great team. That was a great experience for me, especially with Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, Dallas Shrimp. With those guys, just being on that team, it was a great experience. Not playing as much as I wanted to, but it was a great experience.
Did you and Sean Kemp have some battles?
No, not really, because he was the center. I was playing the 3, the 4. I had my battles with Dallas Shrimp and Herschel.
But those two things, both of y'all just said something that's hopefully some kids, some parents, some uncles, you guys went from playing all the time.
Exactly.
Not playing at all.
Exactly.
But you still had the same passion. Of course you was upset, but you went and did stuff to try to help you play. You went and talked to the coach. You talked to Richie Hawkins. You talked to people to try to help you get not just, oh man, I'm better than them, I should be playing, and all those different things. You understood where you was at. And my thing is that's on all levels. It ain't just because you was in the NBA, so now I should think, well, no, it's not that. It in elementary school, if somebody's better than you or they out there playing, I have to work on my craft to get out there, and those are things that kids today don't get. They think they automatically supposed to be out there. Their parents think they automatically supposed to be out there. And that's not it. That's not how the game goes. You guys are probably a little bit different than me, and I've kind of changed the last couple of years. You guys play a lot of people, and I had a lot of talent and didn't play a lot of people.
Man, you only play 7 players when you play people. You was playing me, man. You want to play no. I said, man, who he gonna play? Nah, he ain't playing him today. So I had to, strategize the way you sub and stuff. Boy, you only play 7.
But those things on this show is what we're trying to put out. So parents and kids and other coaches and other people can understand, we all got the same challenges. They just different places.
Right.
Exactly. And they might look different.
Right.
The man Ty talk about it all the time. The stuff that he has at Whitney Young, I may not have to deal with it at Simeon, but I got something that I do have to deal with there. Right. You know what I'm saying? It might not be the exact same thing that he's dealing with, but it is something. None of us are just going to coach and we get up every day and everything is cool. None of us are doing that. That's just not going to happen. But it could be different things that in each other's building and each other's neighborhoods that deter stuff that look certain ways,
But that's why I tell kids, Rob, hey, man, I don't want to see you make that mistake that I made because I was 22.
Right.
And I was in the league. You know what I'm saying? So if you can go ahead and learn how to put your head down, don't be a problem, the coach gonna see you working on your craft if you really committed to it. Mm-hmm. It might not happen in your time frame, but it's going to happen. And you gotta believe in a lot of these kids, I call this generation the microwave generation. They want to be able to put something in 30 seconds and get that instant result. And then, man, it didn't cook long enough. Man, I'm gonna throw that away, man. Let me put another one in. Let me try this one for 35 seconds. Like, man, dude, the instructions on the rapper, just read the instructions. You know what I mean? These kids today, man, it's amazing to me. From my first teams that I had, those first 2-3 teams, their mindset, their commitment, their dedication to some teams now that I haven't had some of that success. And part of it is what you're talking about, some of the selfishness, some of the I'm supposed to play, some of the I worked hard this week, why I ain't getting the game. It was only 1 week, dog. Like, come on, man.
We've been playing for 9 weeks, and you just.
What I really hate. I don't know. I want to know how y'all think about this, because you talking about rotations. We play a lot of guys, especially in November. I try to play 12 guys so I can see who can
wanna do it.
handle what we're trying to do. Who understands our system?
Well, the thing what I did with my group, I tried to find out who didn't want to shoot the ball. Who want to pass the ball to my scores? You know, who can fit the role? Who can take the charge? Who you know what I'm saying? Who gonna do the dirty work?
Who can set the screen on the live? Who can set the screen on the live play?
Yeah,
those kind of things. Yeah.
I already got 2 scores, man. I don't need nobody else to score. 2 people shoot my ball.
One thing, nigga, I say about your style, you know, we like to get up and down.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just like you do.
Yeah.
It's only a few times where I would go and tell the kid, hey man, we want to control the pace. We don't want them to control it because we don't want to get in the up and down type of game with y'all because better athletes, a little bit more grimy, a little bit more grittier. You know what I'm saying? Like some of this stuff I got instilled with the kids and some of them don't understand, you know. I'm trying to create this kind of like, not toxic, but havoc atmosphere, chaos where I'm throwing a lot of distractions at you in practice.
Like you said, you want to go play for Nolan Richardson.
You know, I'm throwing all these distractions so when we get in the game, you can tune your dad out. When your dad over there calling you, hey, nah, man. Ain't no, hey. You tune, just like you tune me out in practice.
So,
time to tune your daddy out.
Do me a favor. When we get off this, can you teach me those drills, whatever those drills are, that you get the kids to tune out their dads, okay? After this is over, teach me those drills. I want to work on some of those drills.
Just put on the old Richard Pryor record.
Okay, I got it.
It take a lot of that. It take a lot of that type of language.
Well, now, will it tune out the mentors and the handlers and the trainers? Will it tune them out too? I'm just asking. I need a record for that.
I normally clear the gym, and it's just me and the coaches, and everybody else got to get out. Like janitors, managers. Like one time, Sherell will tell you, I told AD, "Hey man, you got to get out of my gym right now. I got to take something to the team." He looked at me. I'm like, "No, I'm serious. Like for real, dude. Like you got to get up out of here." He like, "You don't want me to hear what I got to say?" Like, no, I don't want to hear it right now. It's more so you're not gonna understand what I'm saying.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I didn't want him to kind of get confused and think that I was belittling the kids, but because I wasn't belittling them. But like I tell the kids, hey man, it's a difference if I say, man, get your lazy ass on that line than me, calling you dumb or something like that. It's a difference, because I don't know no coach that hasn't called somebody lazy.
Me?
Like that.
Me, I haven't never thought about lazy.
Never.
Yeah, okay.
But you did assault the best pizza in the world, so that's.
Hey, you ain't getting none of this Manotti's pizza because you was lazy, man. Get out of here, man.
I need video footage of that. That's amazing.
Nick, I don't know what it was that night, baby. I don't know if we was lazy. I don't know if it was my coach, and I don't know what it was, but they showed
ain't this pizza.
They ain't that pizza because they whooped the socks off us, baby. Guess what? I told everybody we get back to mom, everybody bring me everything I gave you. I want it back.
Yeah. Man, matter of fact, man, remember we played over at Brooks? We played at Brooks. And man, y'all had about 30-something turtles. We had 40 turtles, something crazy, right? So y'all end up did it go? I think it went to overtime or something. So I went in the locker room. I said, listen, hey, you see all that stuff y'all got on? Man, just bring it to the school tomorrow. Every shoe I ever gave you, bring it back in, and we're going to play in practice uniforms. We ain't playing in game uniform because y'all look too nice, man. Y'all playing nice and doing all this dumb stuff. Man, give me all my stuff back. Sweatsuit. I want everything.
So, Nick, that was when we played them. It was right before the state playoffs. So, we played that games right before the state playoffs. So I said, everybody bring my stuff over. Everybody trying out over. It's a whole other try. I had one kid parent say, he told me you said bring everything. Everything back because he didn't pay for it.
I know, everything.
Bring it back, put it in the bag I gave him. And I want it all back. And if he make the team, I hand it back to him. I had 2 trials that year.
Y'all, you know what? I've been real laughing so hard, Rob, because
They was dabbing in the bleachers for balls. They was all over.
You know what? I'm thinking I might have a mid-year tryout every year now. And just say, you know what? We'll have our first year, and then we have the mid-year tryout. So you all have to, okay, I like that. I learned
Man,
that.
kids love that gift. They love that gift, man. You take that gift from them, trouble.
I took mine from my team 2 years ago. I said, bring it all back. I said, I don't care what shoe you wear, just won't be any that I've given you. And it has to be Nike. And we didn't have shooting shirts. We had nothing. When they came out of the locker room, all they had on was shorts, a pair of socks, and the shoes, and they top. That was it. And the people are looking like, what's going on? I said, you tell your friends why you don't have that other stuff. You tell them. You tell them.
You can't wear none of my stuff.
oh man.
Well,
He laughing so hard because y'all just said everything I done said. Y'all just did my whole script.
Hey, Sherell, he ain't said nothing wrong.
Everything.
That's why I said
y'all ran the whole script down.
That's why I just said it's all the same. We just in different places, man.
We're in
That's
different places.
all the same. It's in different places.
And the players be like, come on, Coach Sherell, man. What you telling, man? Please, man. Dude, you gotta holler at him, man. Why you coming to me now? I done told you what the man, I told you what he wanted out of you. You ain't do it? Hey.
You ain't doing it. Hey, that's on y'all.
That's on y'all.
Right.
And that's why I'm laughing so hard about it. I'm like,
no, you need to do that more.
You know what, I got a saying to him when I do it too. I say, man, you know what else y'all I don't understand about y'all? Y'all let somebody take the ball out your hand, meaning something on your actions, maybe, grade-wise, you're not up to par. Maybe, at home you having some trouble. See, I never let nobody take the ball out of my hand. That's how much I wanted to play. You know what I mean? So I'm always gonna do everything I'm supposed to do,
Don't let nobody touch your ball.
Right. And I'm kind of like, what's that saying? Like Scarface. I tell the truth even when I'm lying. So I try to Sherell more kind of like the good cop. You know what I mean? Like he's really good with managing the kids and kind of keeping all their emotions in check and making sure, they keep their composure and he's that coach that they can kind of be more comfortable with, because I tell them all the time.
Me than him, especially when he upset, like, damn, Coach Waheen, like, dude, you didn't do what he said. You didn't run it. Just, when he said, hey, man, we doing this, we doing that, you got to do that. Now, if you don't do that, after the third time, don't come looking at me like, damn, Coach, why he yelling at me?
Right. I only give him 2 times. If I got to repeat myself 2 times, the third time, I promise you ain't gonna like what's gonna come out of my mouth. It ain't gonna sound nothing like the other 2 things.
Exactly. That's what I said after the third time.
Man, it depends on who it is. I'm gonna give 1. If you give me 30 at night, you can mess up 2, 3, 4 times.
He gave you 3. He gave you, second chance. It is the third chance.
Yeah.
The thing that I realized, and what's really changed about these kids. See, we laughing about this. I tell the kids all the time. If my coach didn't yell at me, man, I didn't think he knew how to coach.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like I didn't believe if you tried to talk to me nice when I was growing up younger, I'd be looking at you like, hey man, like what you talking about? Like I ain't really understanding that because I'm so used to not so much cursing at me, but just the passion that, these guys coach with. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these kids don't even understand my passion, and I tell them all the time, I'd rather coach an aggressive kid than a passive kid.
Right.
The coaches say, why is that? They ask me why is that? Because with an aggressive kid, you can, kind of tone him down. It's easy to kind of, reel him in. But with a passive kid, oh man, it's like pushing that little engine that could. It might never get up that hill if he passes. And he could be the most talented. I had some talented players, but they never reached their potential because they wasn't aggressive enough. They didn't understand.
Crazy thing
And
about it. Go ahead.
That's the adjustment period of a coach as well. You know what I'm saying? So like when I said the Xavier Pinson thing, it's no way he shouldn't have been starting.
Right.
But if I had took somebody out of the lineup, I wouldn't have got nothing out of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about not anything. So I'm saying to myself, like, hey, I got you got to make this work.
Right.
You got to make X feel like he gonna be getting what he need to get, and this person need to get, because if they come out this lineup, they ain't no good to me no more. They might as well leave. They because they can't handle it. The kids now can't handle that. They can't handle, a lineup change or being benched or all that. You got to go and negotiate with people about why man, look, this is what it is.
Exactly. It is what it is.
He plays starter minutes too.
Yeah. I knew that because he could play 3-4 positions. So you're going to play starter. But I tell the kids now, here's when you got a problem with me. When I stop saying something to you.
Yeah, when I stop talking to you.
Yeah.
Once I stop saying something to you, then now lies your problem.
Exactly.
Because that means I'm done.
Yeah.
As long as I'm talking to you and getting on you, then we straight. As soon as I just start walking past you,
It's over.
it's over with. You might as well go to the office with your parent and tell them you about to transfer down the street somewhere, because you out of here, because I'm done with you. Nothing else I can say to you.
Hey, Ty, how many times you beat Proviso East?
Multiple times. I don't want to get into that. That's you know what, guys? Let's
89, 90, 91.
I wasn't there in
91, yep.
I was not there during that run, and I give you all the respect in the world for what you all have done. But guys, let me just say this: we have had these things. We've been doing this for a while now. You guys are actually like historians. You guys have sat here tonight and have told us things that most of us didn't know, with the exception of Gordon, because he does all the research. But I mean,
that's the only thing I can do.
I mean, it's been really, I'm telling you, and that's why I'm just kind of sitting here listening, and the breadth of the fact that we're talking to two guys that have played high level in high school, high level in college, played in the NBA with some other high level guys, and they're sitting here on a Friday night just telling, and really you guys are almost like, you're like one person, because you all have said, oh, it was a minute and 20 seconds, and the next one, it was a minute and 20 seconds. I can't even remember what happened in my last game. And you guys remember things that happened. I mean, I just.
Wait, I remember what happened in your last game. I remember.
Let me say this though, the one thing that I think a lot of people don't realize about me, Mike and Sherell, not only did we do all those things, I think to me it's something even more unique is what we accomplished. We all left our college as the all-time leading scorers.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. That's something we didn't know.
UIC, Colorado, and Wisconsin.
Yeah, we all left. We all left as the all-time leading scorers.
That's strong.
So,
that is crazy.
That's strong.
Now they belong to the 2000 club. Unfortunately, I broke my leg, and so the year 1995 will always pick with me because that's my total points I had. I remember when I broke my leg, right? I wanted to get so close to 2000 so I can say, all right, man, I'm at 997, so I got fouled. So after I calmed down, and they wheeling me about to put me on the stretcher, I asked the team doctor, like, you think they'll let me shoot these last 2 free throws just so I can go to the 2000? I can suck it up, because he was like, what do you mean? He was just crying and screaming all on the floor. I was like, yeah, but Mike and Sherell got 2,000 points already. This was my game to get to 2,000.
Crazy. Oh, guys, this has been amazing. I got to go, unfortunately. I got to go do the news.
Oh, man.
I don't want to go, though. I might get fired just so I can still talk to you guys.
Hey, but The 1974 team was the best Proviso East team.
Jim
My
Brewer?
cousin Jerry Montgomery played on that team.
Man, there you go.
I got to
there you
side
go.
with him.
The only reason I give you a little for a boy who works with us at the
He
school,
works with us right
Richard
now.
Westbrook was on that team.
Westbrook.
Oh, yeah.
And we argue with him all the time about that.
Yeah, me and my cousin Jerry Montgomery was just talking about that too. 74, baby.
Yeah.
You know, we got a couple of, we don't even talk about the places we got trophies, but you know, we're trying to get one more first place trophy. You know, I think we got 4. Yeah, we're trying to get that 5th one. That 5th elusive one. So.
Well, let me just say this, and again, I'm being very honest with you. If it's 4A and we're still in the same sectional, I'm going to do everything I can to help you all not get it, okay? Just want to let you know that.
Man, Donnie, I appreciate
I'm going to tell you something. You're going to be our nemesis like we was for us out here with Joe's. When we finally beat y'all, it's going to be over. It's over for y'all. We getting the shit.
And if you beat us, nobody on my team will eat. Nobody will eat. Everybody will eat.
All right, Sherell, Donnie, appreciate y'all.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much.
Love.
Man, thanks for having us, man. We had a great time.
All right,
We got to get you guys back.
Everybody,
guys.
I think we can all agree, go Pirates.
Yes, sir.
We ain't going to agree on that one.
I got to side with him. I got to side with him. That's man.
That's family.
Those Luis in my heart.
Yeah, you know what? Of course, we'll get the non-high school coach who would side with him. Of course we will. All right, guys. Have a good one. I'll talk to you.
I'll see y'all.
All right.